there's that guy again. Don't be listening to him too much. Welcome, everybody, and welcome to Business in a Box, where we're going to talk to you about, well, how to get out of that box. Seems to me like, you got born, they put you in a box, and that was it. From there, you travel home in the box. Yeah, you got to sleep in a box. You sleep in something like a box without walls. But you got to work in a box. You heard this before. But what does it really mean to be in a box? Well, business in a box is the good side of things because business is very important to you. Business is anything from you learning how to live your life, you learning how to do all kinds of things. And we got a full cast today, let me tell you. So today's show is really interesting. And remember, Business in a Box is the solution to everything that you need. Keep coming to us here. We'll talk about all kinds of things because it is not only about what they tell you. Oh no. It is also about other things like, for example, how do you feel about your life? How do you act? Why does your brain do what does it do the things you don't want it to do, right? you put your tongue in your mouth, right, El?
Those big misunderstandings. I think that's what Business in a Box is. First of all, we're focused on the success of you incorporated. So that goes with emotional intelligence. That goes with being able to understand your mind, being able to understand those biases that you grew up in, maybe those pieces of advice that really don't benefit you as much as you think they do. So yes.
But don't they believe like, hey, this really benefits me. I'm going to go do this because it's my idea.
Well, yeah. And I mean, one of them is why working under stress at your job is a total sham. That's what this Brainsnax is about. I mean, come on.
By the way, gotta say, this is mother approved.
It is. And, but yeah, today, Business in a Box will be looking at why working under stress at your job can be a total sham and why you have misunderstood it for so long. All right. First of all, real quickly, welcome to Business in a Box, a show that's focused on the success of you incorporated. Now, Become the Source is a self-sponsored broadcast assisting you to find your way through life. Now, this Brainsnax is also self-sponsored. That's made possible by the Dynexum Project. The Dynexum Project also helps individuals in social media create multiple streams of income doing what they do best, and that's promoting their content. For information, you can go to free information, www.becomethesource.com. And to listeners of this broadcast, you can actually get cash back on just about anything you need or want.
Our gift to you?
Yeah, from your favorite store or try something new. Just visit shopping.becomethesource.com. And once again, that's shopping.becomethesource.com.
So let me just get this straight. Our listeners can actually go out there, shop for themselves, things that they're going to already buy, things that they want to discover, get some cash back, and while they do that, they help support our show.
Exactly. Your purchases will directly contribute to BTS in all of the projects.
Exactly.
And any products that we do mention today, any health products, these statements, FDA disclaimer, and then I'm done with all this. These statements have not been evaluated. Any statements that we say health-related have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration and are for educational purposes only. The products that we mention, or the product, is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Always consult with your physician before beginning any diet and exercise program. All right, got that out of the way. Let's jump into the meat of this. All right, so first of all, people take pride in their work.
Absolutely.
Okay? In fact, people take a lot of pride in hard work. But
I have a wonderful electronic invention I want you to see. It looks something like this.
And that's me, ladies and gentlemen, being very happy about what I'm about to show you, and I'm all proud of my thing. Hey, look at me. Let me take the dust off. Look what I've done.
Yeah, but listen, you're happy. You're different. I mean, you're walking. Here's the thing. There's this myth. There's this misunderstanding that this goes, by the way, this goes for employed people, this goes for self-employed people, and this goes for entrepreneurs. The idea that you have to be stressed and unhappy in order to show that you're succeeding at your job.
Dreadful.
I mean, well, in fact, people, it's so ingrained in our culture that people even take it as a sign of pride. If you're, they say if you're not unhappy at your job, then maybe you're not really working.
Can we break some taboo here?
Of course.
Can I break some taboo here?
Yeah.
Can I, huh? You used to be a government instructor, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah. And you realized at one point that what you were teaching is the same thing your dad was learning, and previous, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make a point with this. A lot of times, we human beings, well, you human beings, if I say we, I include myself, and I might be insulting somebody. I don't know. I don't want to do that. So, right, El? So, the idea is that the things you've learned, you've been carrying on for a long time. So, if you look at just like the 1800s, work was really hard. Okay?
Oh, I think work was survival.
It was survival. Thank you. And before that, it was like, you're going to die anyway. You might as well be helpful. Here, have a dish. Cut a tree down. So what I'm saying is that your dad learned old things, right? And couldn't let them go. You're teaching old things that your dad learned. And we're living an old life that no longer needs to exist. And it is true. You still have people that are out there hustling. They're bringing our food. They're harvesting for us. Those are like older jobs, right? But we still need them. We have machines that help out. But there's still labor, like farmers, right? A lot of labor there, get up in the morning, and don't come home to the moon.
That's hard work right there.
But for most people that get to enjoy the benefits of those hardworking people, when you go to an office, what are you complaining about? For crying out loud. It's like you have the single opportunity to live a healthier life, not produce cortisol in your body, not produce those stressful hormones, and you still gravitate to the old life, like it's an old programming. You follow what I'm saying here?
No, I do. I mean, people, first of all, I'm not saying hard work is wrong. Far from it. Hard work is needed, okay? And yes, I also believe, at the same time, I also believe in working smarter and not harder as well.
You shouldn't worship it, though, right?
But exactly. The
Don't
thing
worship
is, people,
hard work.
There's this, they worship it, they take it as a sign of pride, and there's even this twisted belief that if you're not unhappy at your job, you're not really working.
I've seen that. You humans are funny.
I mean, and some people would say, like, well, that's why it's called work. It's not supposed to be enjoyable. It's like,
well,
but
you know what? I remember. There's a story that looms around. You guys may have heard it, but I've seen people like this. I've seen where, well, I'm going to tell you like the story, right? The guy walks up to a hardworking laborer. They're making bricks and building something, and he walks to the first guy. And he says, hello, first guy. Of course, he has a name. I'm just trying to be, what do you call that, L? Which I'm not usually, politically correct.
Yes, politically correct. Wow, that term is so foreign to you.
Hello, guy number one, or person number one. That's better, right?
Yeah.
So, hello, person number one. And he looks up. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, oh, man, I'm laboring, but if I don't do this, I won't be able to feed my family. He goes, wow, that's very interesting, right? He walks to the next guy who's, in the same place, the same bunch, a little bit further away. So he goes to person number two, right? Hello, person number two. Hello, mysterious man. And he says, well, what are you doing here? He goes, well, it's kind of interesting. I'm working for this guy who has a vision, and I want to be part of that vision. And he goes, wow, well, that's very interesting, So he could see that he's standing up straight, doing a little more and having fun. He walks to the other guy number three, or person number three. Let me try to be politically correct here. And he walks to person number three. Hello, person number three. Hello there, tall stranger. He goes, what are you doing? He goes, well, can't you see it? I'm building the brand new cathedral. Many people will come here and worship and live and enjoy and learn. You don't see the vision? So what I'm saying is, everybody does the same amount of work no matter what you're doing somewhere or whatever. And it's your attitude that makes you gravitate towards that. And then you kind of like worship the ability to, what I think it is, El? I'm gonna say it blunt. Can I be blunt today?
Be blunt.
Can I be blunt? Is El Cuco gonna get me or something like that?
Yeah, probably.
That guy comes in my dreams and oh, get out of here, Cuco. Yeah, you and your brother too. Brother Cuco. So the idea, I think, is that people, number one, they're kind of a little bit on the pre-programmed side. They're just following suit because that's what they learned to do. But I think people love misery. I think that when you have a little bit of a misery, a little bit of a tough time, you go, oh, look at my scars. I got these scars during this time. And the next person, oh, look at my scars. Yeah, I've endured. I think what's missing here is self-worth.
Yeah.
These people need a hug.
They do. And you know what? I would say based on what you said with your story of the 3 men, I would say objectively,
No,
there's
no,
absolutely.
I try to change it to 3 persons.
The 3 persons.
Yeah, the 3
There's
persons.
absolutely nothing wrong with the answers that they gave.
No.
But here's what I'm talking about. Usually, how can you tell when your perspective at your job is detrimental to you? If you feel burnout, if you have resentment, if you are anxious or fearful, or you're dreading venturing out to something new because you're just afraid of more pain. And by the way, burnout leads to lack of creativity, so you feel like you just don't have the creativity and the motivation anymore.
Well,
you feel even depressed, or
isn't that like a self-fulfilling prophecy when you start feeling burnout and you hate your job and you're saying all these nasty things about you, your friends, and everybody else? Sooner or later, you're going to find yourself in the pit of doom.
Exactly. So if you're starting to feel any of those symptoms, your perspective on your job and your hard work, whether you're self-employed, whether you're employed or an entrepreneur, your perspective has got to change. So first of all, it all comes, like you said, the Novi, where does this all come from? There's a belief that we
old
like
programming.
pain. It's
old
programming.
I really think it's like old programming.
It's also what's called the martyr syndrome, the idea that suffering somehow makes us important. Also that we need to live our lives in suffering.
Those martyrs, I tell you.
But then here's the funny thing. At the same time, we demonize stress. We're either enjoying it like we're masochists, or we're afraid of it. And we don't want to face it.
Wait. Major pause here. We what? We what?
We demonize stress.
Can you explain the word demonize stress here?
We see
my fellow fourth dimensional creatures and stuff like that may not like that.
I'm talking human talk. When I say that we demonize something, that means that we see it as
I get
nothing
confused
but.
with you sometimes. You're on the esoteric side, you're on the business side. All right. So you're saying just demonize stress?
Yeah, we're either going to see it as something that we dread and we hate and we try to avoid at all costs, or we see it as something that we have to take like it's our punishment. It's ridiculous. You might think I'm crazy, but there's a lot of people who have this subconscious programming. I'm telling you.
No, I've seen it. I deal with them. I used to do a lot of work with folks that would come to the office, say, I got problems at home and whatever the case may be. And we used to do this stuff all the time. And you're not telling anything new to me, but I'm sure that people listening don't feel that it's new. They know it. As a matter of fact, they're starting to point the finger as they're driving to other people driving, saying, you there, mister, you there, you over there, you over there, you are stressed and you're stressing me out. But they never point the finger at themselves. This is a self-reflecting thing that you have to look at yourself and make time to breathe, to live, to change your frame, your scope of thinking. So I'm really following you. And if you want to call it demonizing stress, it's such a big word for a little problem, but I get it.
Okay. They stress over stress.
I'm with, no, you can say demonize. You can talk your human talk. I got it. I follow. I'm digging you.
All right. So now we've got. So let's just recap here. First of all, there's nothing wrong with stress.
Well,
but
isn't that
there's
the same
nothing?
thing?
I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with hard work. But if you're feeling burnout,
embrace it.
Well, if you're feeling burnout, if you're feeling resentment, if you're feeling anxiety and fear of wanting to do something new, if you feel like you're lacking creativity because you're burnt out, or you're feeling depressed, or even your health is suffering, it's time to change your perspective about hard work.
Now, you think that a human being, I come from someplace else. You think that a human being can actually sit there and says, oh, gee, I'm just going to sit here today and I'm going to just change my life?
Well,
really?
Here's the thing.
Is it that easy? I don't think it's that easy.
It starts with small steps.
There you go.
You got to start with small steps. So let's go into our solutions.
So
here.
no, wait. What are the things you mentioned? You said burnout. You said when you're feeling resentment.
Well, if you're feeling resentment, if you're feeling burnout, if you have anxiety.
Is that when you pour the coffee on the person's next to you plant? There's the beautiful plant is dead the next day. Is that the resentment you're talking about? You're like, that guy is always happy. Pour this thing on this plant.
Well, yeah. I mean,
right?
if you're starting to feel, what is it called, salty, spiteful towards your coworkers or your boss or your customers.
If you're by the water cooler saying, man, that guy over there, the way he's acting, oh yeah, I saw him too, acting the same way, and you're inspiring a conspiracy in your own job, right?
In other words, if you're creating fear and separation, it's time for you to change your perspective on hard work.
Right.
Because I think it's a detriment to you.
I got something for you.
Tell me.
What
Tell
else
me.
you gonna do? You got that job. You're in there. You might as well be the best at it that you can be,
Exactly.
right? I mean, what else are you gonna do? Don't like it? Leave. Go do something else. But don't do it abruptly. Don't go. I quit. No, do it gradually. Go grab some classes. Do some things. Make some plans for yourself. Don't be crazy.
So, okay,
Does
so
that
here's
make
what I
sense?
see. Acceptance. One solution is acceptance of where you are now.
Don't you think
And
acceptance of self, El?
yeah,
Like, I accept myself for who I am and where I am and how I feel. That's okay. Let me figure out why I feel this way and then accept where you are. I would say
exactly.
it might be going in that direction.
I would say yes. And if you don't want to be where you are, then by all means, make plans to move forward and take action. Because, as with everything else in life, it's so much better to be happy at what you're doing than unhappy. Studies show that doing something while you're actually enjoying it, even if you're stressed but you're still enjoying it, it actually makes you more likely to succeed and more likely to master it and more likely to feel good about it and build good chemicals and have less burnout, less resentment than if you're stressing too much on it, than if you're, stressing in the way where you feel burnout and resentment. Okay?
I agree. I'm down with that. That you couldn't say it better. So I want to mention something when you're done with your talk because it sounds very interesting to me. So what's next? What's next on your list?
Well,
Because this
first
is
of
really
all,
good.
going back to the thing about demonizing stress, there's a lot of studies showing that a certain amount of stress or challenge actually increases the enjoyment of your job. So yes, stress can be a good thing. And yes, in order to stretch your limits, you do need to have a certain amount of stress, a certain amount of pressure
Well, yeah,
to maybe cross over the threshold and do something you never thought you could. I mean, so many people talk about how good it feels when they've done something that they were terrified of, or they've mastered something that they were just struggling with before. There's certain euphoria associated with it.
Well, that deals with endorphins and dopamine hit and stuff like that comes out of the brain as well, and self-pride and stuff like that. I do want to mention something. You were talking about stress. I think that can I say the H word?
Sure. I don't know what the H word
Humans.
is. Oh,
I think that humans go around and they don't understand the words they're using. Stress. So when you walk, right, you're placing stress on your legs and feet and joints.
You mean physical pressure?
Physical pressure, but that is stress. Stress is the amount of pressure that you're putting on something. You measure it. You can measure it with other, weight and stuff like that, whatever. But that is, you're pushing some stress on it. Stress is the amount of resistance that something actually has. How much stress can that take? So it's a tolerance level kind of thing. So you couldn't walk without stress. You couldn't learn without stress. Your brain wouldn't grow without stress. Stress is so useful, so powerful, so important, so empowering that we should not look at that word like it's a nasty word. Stress is not a 4-letter word. STRESS. It's a 6-letter word. People, is it 6 letters?
Yes.
So it's a 6-letter word. Come on. Yay for this 6-letter word. So what I'm saying is you got to know what stress is. You got to embrace it. Now, when you are beyond your tolerance, right, and you're stressing out, meaning you're falling apart, you need some school. You need to calm down. You need to find out what's going on in your life. That's a little bit different.
And
maybe you need to change your diet too.
And guess how you know that you're beyond tolerance? When you're feeling burnt out, when you're feeling tired for no reason, when you're creating fear and separation, when you have resentment, when you got anxiety of wanting to try something new,
right.
When you don't feel creative, when you feel depressed. Oh yeah, now that means
I will
your
throw
tolerance
one thing
is
in
out.
there for you. One thing.
Anger. Don't forget anger.
Can I say the H word again?
Yeah.
So one thing humans forget: don't judge other people like you judge yourself. What's stressful to someone else may not be stressful to you. And it's a frame of reference in your brain. So you're there to win. You're there to de-stress. You're there to be the best person you can in your job. You're there to to infiltrate that job and learn what you can learn from that job and move on if you want to, or stay there and become better, or even stay there and just be a cog inside of a well-oiled machine.
And
it's up to you.
some people are happy with that.
And we need that. We need that. So
Yeah.
if you see someone who's a cog, don't stress them out. Hey, you're a wonderful cog. Keep it going. Right? If you see someone saying, "Hey, I'm a cog trying to, upgrade myself," it goes, "Hey, not a problem. Here's some stuff for you. Keep it going." And you yourself, when you look at yourself, don't compare yourself to other people that way. And I think, keeping up with the Joneses produces trust. You may not have the same amount of skills, the same level of knowledge and things of that nature, and that might be stressful on its own. And that contributes to burnout at the work.
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I think, you know what? You've inspired me. I'd like to challenge
Have I
our
really?
I'd like to challenge our
Yes!
listeners.
Totally inspired the human over there.
I have a feeling that almost everybody listening to this, no matter what they're doing, whether they're employed, whether they're self-employed, whether they're looking for a job, or whether they're an entrepreneur, whether they're there in the they're in a nice flow of success, or they're just starting out, or they're struggling, or they feel a little maybe lost. I challenge you, find something about your job where you have to work hard. And working hard means it's a challenge. Find a challenge to your job and find a way to enjoy it. Don't resent it. Don't run away from it. Don't be angry at it. Don't wish it wasn't there and it would go away. Unless, of course, you have something better in mind.
Okay, so I will share with you a very awesome secret. Do you want to hear my secret?
Yeah.
I think you want to hear my secret. Secret. Well, first of all, you have to hear. You have to read some books. What was that book? I forgot. Right. I'm gonna write it on the what do you call it? On the description below. But 7 effective habits.
Oh.
Highly effective habits of successful people.
7 habits of
Highly successful people.
That's right.
All right, that's important. But there's another one. There's another one that teaches you not to engage in conversations that are negative, because that produces other things in your brain. It's a trigger. You're going to shoot off some neurodendrites. You're going to shoot off some hormones and some other stuff.
Oh, by the way, the book
peptides.
is 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Right. There you go. That's the one. So you got to read that book. It's a really good book. I read it a long time ago. Obviously, can't even remember the title, but it's a very good book. And if you can't do it, do the audiobook while you're driving. It's an easy listen. It's an easy read, and it's really cool. But here's the thing. I'm gonna share with you guys, and you guys better lean into the speaker a little bit. Lean into it. Trust me, you're gonna love this. I got 2 dads, right? I have a Spanish dad and I have a German dad. Thank goodness to whatever happened to my life, but. My German dad, very smart guy, he would get up in the morning. He says, I want you to do me a favor. I want a list from you of 4 things you absolutely hate and 2 things that you absolutely love. I'm like, well, the hate ones are easy. He narrowed them down right there at the spot. Little did I know he had an evil plan.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. So he comes back from work, and he's a very successful businessman. He goes out, and he can sell anything. It doesn't matter. He could sell, water to a water boy. So the point I'm making, though, he says, okay, if you want to overcome your brain, no one's going to teach you how. I'm like, okay, Dad, or Father. And he then said, look, in order to master yourself, you have to understand procrastination and avoidance. And you probably have a lot of that. Don't even know it. I want you to master these 4 hateful things that you said. And my jaw just dropped.
Wow.
I want you to master these 4 hateful things that you said, because other people are doing it. So it's really not it. It is you. And when you master these 4 things, you grow to love them. And the other 2 that you're going to do are just to buffer you, because sometimes it is hard to master the 4 things you hate. So you do the other 2 just to keep you going. And I did that, and there was so much knowledge in doing that.
Wow.
I discovered how my brain was screwing me over the whole time. And I say, these human brains, I tell you, all they do all day long is make me do the wrong things. I tell you, there's like a darkness virus going around somewhere. And I was astonished by what he did.
You know what else, too?
Tell me.
I'll bet that when you did those 2 things that you love to kind of buffer while you were, doing the 4 things that you hate, I'll bet you appreciated those two things so much more
Oh,
at
yeah.
a different level that you didn't
Yeah.
even realize.
Absolutely.
Like you didn't even take it for granted anymore.
No, it was like, what was the word you used? Euphoric. It was awesome to do
Hmm.
other things. And you know what? My self-confidence got boosted, and I said, man, I can do anything now. I'm on top of the world. Well, top of the, porch there.
So, can you give us an example of one of the 4 things you hated? Tell me. Just one. You don't have
You
to get
really
into too many
wanna know?
Of course. Yeah, we want to know.
But
Everybody
you're not
wants to
going to
know.
believe it if I told
I'm
you.
not. I'm going to believe it.
You're not believing it right now.
I think the audience needs to know.
I'm doing it right now.
Tell me.
Talking, teaching, going out there.
Speaking?
Speaking. You know how horrible you know why
Wow.
you know why I hated to speak so much? I will tell you. You want to know?
Why?
Yeah, tell me you want to know.
Yeah, I want to know.
All right, good. So because every time you open your mouth, someone else has something to say. They don't let you finish. They have all this extra stuff they're going to throw on. Sometimes it's validated, sometimes it's not valid, and it just confuses the whole thing. I don't care if you're the smartest person in the world. As soon as you open your mouth, you're in trouble. And I was like, you know what? You humans can have your human world, and I'll just go do my stuff. And I work off of systems, right? I build things,
Mm-hmm.
and I look at schematics, and I do stuff, and I'm like, even my budget, it's all calculated, and I go, well, this will work for the next 3 years, right? So I have a very good understanding of what should work based on principles. But as soon as I open my mouth and I say, hey, look, I got this really cool spreadsheet that'll teach you how you can, I don't know, get 2 or 3 Teslas in 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And I have Teslas, right? So we all have Teslas, right? So I'm saying things that are real. I'm not saying things that are lies. And they look at me, they go, oh, well, this is this guy named Ramsey who says, I think I'll follow him. I go, oh, phenomenal. Do you have a subscription to that? They go, well, no, but I listened to him online, and you just feel so defeated. And I'm like, why am I opening my mouth? I'm going to go home, take my 30 minutes that I just blew away here, and I'm going to go do something with those 30 minutes that are positive, that I can wake up tomorrow and it'll be there, and I'm just happy. So I didn't like to speak.
Wow.
I just felt like it was just a waste of time, and it's just
I never would have imagined.
No, but I found enjoyment in it, and I discovered why people have such a hard time.
And now, I would think that's what you were born to do when I hear you.
Oh, no. When I'm alone, I'm very quiet, and I'm just busy doing something.
Oh, that's right. You say even if kitty cat makes a meow sound, it's too much noise.
Oh, that's it.
Cat purring is too much noise for you.
Kitty, turn that motor off. I'm busy. No, but seriously. Yeah, that's one of the things that I really, really, really disliked. And so I was just like, nope, not talking. And I remember telling one of my bosses one time, true story, and I hope I'm not going over my allocated time, but I told him 2 times what I thought the answer was, and he just blew me off, right? So finally, about a month later, we're all together in a group, and he says, true story. He says, hey, Novi, tell us what you want to tell us. I go, no, that's right. He goes, no, seriously, tell us how. We're all curious. And everybody's looking at me, and people are on the phone. I mean, it must have been 30 people listening. And I'm like, no, that's okay.
You took a vow of silence.
I go, no, I'm not. I don't feel like it. And he looked at me. I'll go, come on. I go, you know what? I'm not going to speak for the rest of the year. So for 4 months, I just said, hey, hello, goodbye. And that was it. I was just so through. But it's because I don't like to say things more than once. If you're not going to listen, there's no reason for me to talk. It doesn't feed my ego or anything, That's the truth. That's how
so here
bad.
it comes with so here's with the double-edged sword here. You've mastered speaking, but you've also mastered
the ego.
Yeah, you've also mastered when to stay quiet, because a lot of people, I know a lot of people who would say, I would never tell my supervisor I'm not going to speak for the rest of the year. They're just too afraid to do it. And most people can't do that.
All right, guys, calm down. Don't be doing this to your supervisor.
But yeah, I mean, please don't do that to your supervisor. Don't do that. But, a lot of
There's
people...
other ways of saying it and doing it. It's just, I'm a little bit more abrupt.
A lot of people can't master staying quiet.
Yeah, well, I'm fine being quiet.
Well, what do you know? So you mastered 2 things for that one thing you hated.
Well, like I said, it's exponential growth. You'll discover so much about yourself. You just don't know. You're gonna love yourself. Gonna get up in the morning, give yourself a hug. Hey, me. Hello, me. Talk to your mirror. Make sure the neighbor doesn't hear it, because they'll lock you up in this country. But yeah, you feel great. That is my secret. Now you know my secret.
Now that is awesome. I'd love to go. You've inspired me. I'd love to tell you about mine, but I think.
Please do. The audience wants to hear it. They want to hear it. Come on, they want to hear it. I want to hear it.
You're gonna laugh.
That's what I want. I want to laugh.
Learning how to shoot a gun.
Whoa! And I've seen you do it too. We got it on video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you had such a hard time in the beginning.
Oh yeah, I was terrified.
What is it? The loud noise or the?
A combination of loud noises, a combination of the fact that in my perspective, there's a dangerous weapon in my hand.
And it is.
And it is. And it's never going to be safer just because I know how to handle it.
Nope.
And the scary, terrifying part is you could be a gun expert. It's never going to be 100% safe.
Nope, ever.
Yet, to me, there was too many benefits of forcing myself to do it because I told myself I can't keep avoiding things, regardless of how terrified I am of them, even though there was a legitimate reason to be afraid of a gun. The loud noise was one, yeah, but it was also the fact that it could hurt you, the fact that if you get together with people who have guns, your chances of being hurt are multiplied. The emotional factor involved. There were just so many logical and illogical reasons for me not to want to handle a gun or even go to a shooting range or even get learn how to shoot properly. There was just so many reasons. And I think a good chunk of the world would have said, you're right, L1. You're right, L1.
Oh, yes, good. L1.
Would have said, you're right, L1. Don't handle a gun. You don't have to. It's too frightening for you. Sorry.
If there's a mountain you must conquer. You must conquer mountain.
But I knew that I had to. I honestly knew that I had to. I had to. Just something said, if
I was there that day and I saw you. You did really good and you took the class and you did everything.
Yeah, I sat through the class.
Yeah.
That was another thing I was not looking forward to. I'm like, I don't feel like sitting for, 16 hours? I don't know how long it was, but I'm like, I don't feel like sitting through this class and all this just to go out into the range. I don't want them looking over my shoulder watching me load the gun. I didn't want to do any of it.
All of that's very mechanical, very hard to do. So I've been in the military I was there for quite a while. And so, yeah, there were a lot of things in there. I was like, what the heck? What are you guys doing over here? No, I don't want to do it. But once you learn and you're responsible about things, it isn't what you thought it was. And you overcome yourself. So was it really the object or was it you?
It was me. And you want to know?
And you know what? I remember these days because I remember that was a while back ago. And you became more confident about other things.
That's what people said. It's so funny. It is so funny. And you want to know something? I had my buffer. I'm going to go one step further. I had my buffer. You know what it was?
What's that?
You're going to laugh.
Tell me.
Okay. You guys know the author Stephen King, right?
Oh, God. You knew horror movies and stuff. Okay.
Particularly the Dark Tower series.
Oh,
now, I don't know if this was ever in the book, but it was in the movie. The gunslinger, who was a master at handling a gun, he said, I shoot with my heart. I don't know why that helped calm my fears down or my anxiety, but it just did. And it was my...
I think you need a hug. I'm going to go buy you a cup of coffee and I'm going to give you a hug.
And then you know what I did after I think it was either before or after I went to the gun range and took the test. I went and saw a Stephen King movie. It was my buffer. My friends were laughing at me. They're like, wait a minute. They're like, so you can sit through a Stephen King movie with all the gore and all the jump scares and laugh, but you're afraid to handle a gun? I was like, yeah.
You're such a human. Anyway.
Yeah. What can I say?
So anyway, what's our list? What's our list of solutions?
Okay. So first of all, accept where you are right now.
Yay, I'm all for that.
If you're not happy with where you are, make plans to move forward and take action. Don't just wish
not
to
out
move
of anger,
forward. Exactly.
Not out of hatred.
Remember that with everything in your life, it's so much better to be happy at what you're doing than unhappy. So find something to be happy about it at your job, whether you're employed, self-employed, or entrepreneur. Challenge yourself. Find some. In fact, find something that you that you're working hard at, but find a way to enjoy it. What was the other thing? Remember that, what's stressful to you may not be stressful to other people. So respect other people.
Oh, definitely.
See stress as a tool for success. Do not demonize it. Do not be afraid of it. And don't overstress yourself to the point where your tolerance is shot. What else? Read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People if you want something to read. And then finally, if you really want to challenge yourself, list 4 things you hate, 2 things you love. And I say do this for the year or maybe every 6 months. List 4 things you hate, 2 things you love. Master those 4 things that you hate and use those 2 things as a buffer and write about it or record it.
I like writing about it.
Yeah, I do too. I'm a writer. I love writing. So yeah, I hope those have helped. Well, don't worry, guys. We'll have them. You can actually follow up with us. We're going to be writing an article about this. Or we have.
Yeah, you could also reach out to us at Aftermath. No trick spelling. There's after and then math. If you failed at math, this is English, so it'd be okay. So it's Aftermath at becomethesource.com, and we will answer your questions if you have them and stuff like that. And also the caveat, little thing I wanted to mention before we let go, is if your health, and I am not kidding on this, okay? I mean, if you look at the extremes, you would agree, but the subtleties of what I'm about to say is so important. If your health is not good, if you don't have enough vitamin B's in you, if you don't have a good flow of oxygen in your blood, and if you don't have, the capacity to fulfill the needs and the requests of your body and your growing brain, you're going to feel so terrible. So please looking in, something, a regimen that you can follow that'll make you feel better, and get some sleep. Don't be staying up late arguing. Get some sleep.
And drink plenty of water.
Plenty of water, and seriously, lay off the coffee a little bit. And I guarantee you, your job's going to look better.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Right. It's what we do anyway. So, hey, take it from me. That's it, right? You went over the successful pieces and the successful tools over there. You talked about the cause. I was really excited to be here on the show with you, El. I'm definitely going to take you out and give you a hug.
Okay.
I want to hear more about your story. It's really cool.
All right, fair. That sounds great.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's it for us today. We had a really good time. A little heart-to-heart here with L1. A little storytelling from the Novi. And I hope you tune in. Go ahead and subscribe. Follow us on our social media page. I think it's social media at becomethesource.com. Do you remember what it was, L?
Oh, you mean our, was it Facebook?
No, our whole social media page that we did.
Oh.
I think it's social media at becomethesource.com.
Yeah, I think so.
If not, send me an email at aftermath@becomethesource.com.
That's going to be in the descriptions below. Look at the links in the descriptions below for those of you tuning in. And we'll also have links to the articles that we talk about this. So, expanding.
One last thing. Be part of the solution, people. Tell a friend. Come on, let's build a good family here. Let's have a good time and have a, phenomenal outcome. Let's change this. How do you say? Turn that frown upside down. That's it for me. This is Novi. Hope you have many blessings.
And this is L1 signing out.